A very good morning to everyone. Myself, Sushmita, Director of Alumni Affairs, Pan Pharma Club, Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Pharmacy, MS Ramaya University of Applied Sciences. I'll be the moderator for today's webinar. On behalf of the Department of Pharmacology, greetings to everybody and a welcome all the participants to this webinar, Shaping the Future, Pioneering Data Science Careers in Pharmaceutical and Healthcare Industries. Our speaker today is Mr. Santosh S. Kumar, a data scientist at Syneosis. I want to go over a few things before we start the session. First and foremost, in order to prevent background noise during the webinar, kindly make sure that your microphones are muted. Secondly, feel free to post any comments or questions you may have in the chat box, and I'll try my best to respond and answer them during the webinar's Q&A session. Now, I would like to call Mr. Subyan Sahu, Director of Social Media and Public Relation, Department of Pharmacology, to introduce our speaker.
Good morning, everyone. E-learning shouldn't be a casual joy ride on a Saturday morning with the cruise, a control engaged. The sole purpose of e-learning is to teach. I am Shubhayan Sahu, Director of Social Media and Public Relations, Pan Pharmacon Student Club, Department of Pharmacology. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me an immense pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Santosh S. Kumar, a data scientist at Syneos, who is currently working as data scientist and dashboard developer at Syneos Health Commercial Solution, Omnichannel BD and Strategic Team. He was working as associate consultant IQVIA Performance and Reporting BICES. He is expert of business and data analysis, EDA and ML learning, PBI and Excel-based dashboard development, qualitative and quantitative research, primary and secondary market research, forecasting and stakeholder analysis, market intelligence and assessment. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our speaker, Mr. Santosh, to take this session. Thank you, one and all.
Hey, hi all. Just a checking. I hope like everyone can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You
sir.
are audible.
Okay, cool. So basically, thanks for Anbu sir, and thanks for the entire Department of Pharmacology and the entire MSRUS for having me here to address some kind of a data science careers in pharmaceuticals for the young and vibrant audience over here. So I have like apologize for a small technical glitch. I am unable to turn on my camera. So due to some kind of internal technical glitch, I faced at right at the moment. So that without a camera, like I'll be just going ahead and taking the session. And I know it's very what do you say, like a different way of having a lecture, but without seeing me in face. Apologize for that. Without any delay, I'll just start my sharing my screen. Just confirm everyone that you guys could able to see my screen. Okay. Can everyone can see my screen?
No, sir. You please share your
No, sir.
PPT.
Okay. Let me reshare my screen. Okay. How about now?
No, you are sharing that. Yeah. So now it's visible. You can put it in the full screen mode and you can continue, sir, please.
Okay, cool. Sorry for that. Now it's fine, full screen mode.
No, sir.
Not in full screen.
Okay, let me do it once again. Okay, I hope full
Yes, yes,
screen.
yes. You can proceed.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So today, we are gonna discuss about the data science career in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry. As we know that data science is one of the most buzzing word, and everything is getting replaced by machine learning and AI technology in like a near future. So let me start my session with uh, just one with a proverb. So basically, so this is one of the most provoking proverb and like a most provoking things like what myself and my leaderships will always think about. So basically, in our during our journey of our life course, so asking the right question is far more important than to receive the answer. So basically, so it's not like it's one of the proverb or like a by like a Jiddu Krishnamurti. So basically, like he says, asking a right question is far more important than getting an answer. So if you have a right question, obviously the answer within lies in the same question only. Okay, so let me go ahead with the things. So basically, okay, so I hope like everyone, like most of the like audience are from the M form or a B form, like a fresh graduates. So basically, they will be always be having some kind of a buzzing things in the mind. So basically, okay, so if I do my M.Pharm and if I complete my bachelor's and if I complete my M.Pharm in so and so streams, okay, what kind of opportunity, like what kind of jobs I will be able to get it. So basically, so what I did is so basically, like after your graduation, like after you are doing some kind of like a post graduation or after you are doing your PhD. So basically, in the field of pharmacy, so basically there are three kinds of job opportunities will be available. So one thing, the like one kind of a jobs or kind of like a laboratory services where some of the jobs like you can enter into a desk jobs and other one kind of a jobs or humanitarian services. So coming to the laboratory services, so coming so where under the laboratory services, like there are some kind of a different kinds of jobs are available. So something like a formulating and development, in vitro and in vivo in the pharmacology and the bioanalytical, quality control, quality assurance, and you can go ahead with the research side. So these are the like who are the persons who are interested into to wanted to pursue their career in the fields of laboratory. So these are the fields they can choose into it. So there are some other kind of a jobs such as like humanitarian kind of a thing, where after completing a graduation or a post graduation you can enter into a like a medical representative field, and you can be an individual pharmacist, and you can be a clinical pharmacist, either you can be a trial coordinator, and either you can be a professor or lecturer in any given kind of a professions. Okay, so and apart from that, so basically these are the kind of a common jobs like what we know in and around, like while we are dealing to the into the community. So basically there are like another kind of jobs which are a desk jobs. Okay, so basically we are not gonna into a laboratory services, neither we are not into a field section, but something which we want to do it by using a technology or something kind of a technology or by using a systems. So basically there are under this desk jobs there are widely two kinds of jobs are available, like once you after complete your uh, graduation or like a post graduation. So one is called as a domain based jobs, another one is a domain data and technology. So basically come like let's we talk about the domain based job. So basically, so these are nothing but pharmacovigilance, medical writing, regulatory affairs, and there is some kind of a medical coding and transformations and the trial master clinical monitoring, and CRS, like a clinical research associate. So these are the different kinds of domain based jobs what you can able to get it. So once after you complete your graduation or the post graduation. But the thing is, like, all these laboratory services, the humanitarian services, and the domain based jobs, like what and all we discussed, it's known to each and everyone, and we know that. So this will be this kind of jobs you will be hearing throughout your 4 years of your career. So but today we are here to talk about other side of the thing. So basically, how we can use a domain, a data, plus a technology. So combination of these three aspects, which we have, like where we're gonna carry a domain, which is nothing but a pharmaceutical or a healthcare industry, and we're gonna have a data and we're gonna have a technology. So based upon, like, we're gonna search, like we're gonna look for some kind of a jobs which is mostly untapped in our real world. So basically, those are kind of a market research, primary and competitive intelligence, performance and reporting, business analyst role, which in terms of a pharmaceuticals, and business intelligence analyst, which is nothing but a dashboard developer or a Power BI developer or a Tableau developer within the pharma, and the data analyst, a data science, big data, and AIML. So basically, if you see the the thing with the domain plus data plus technology, when these three mixtures will get into in one particular place, what happens is the opportunities are endless. So now, because during this 20th century and during this post pandemic, so all our things, like with respect to technology, respect to the like the way we commute, the way we see the data, like the way we see the peoples, and everything has been changed. So everything has been a technological driven. So everything is going to be, every decision like what we're going to make, it's going to be a data driven decisions. So that is the one of the main factor which is driving all the industry. It's not only relevant, relevant to pharmaceutical industry, and it's going to be, if you talk about any industry, every industry are trying to turn more into data. But in the pharmaceuticals, so there is a rapid phase of progression is happening with the data side. So how, because we know that the pharmaceuticals and the clinical trials associated with the pharmaceutical industry, the data is very vast, and so no one has tapped into by using a technology or data. Why? Because the peoples will be lagging some kind of a domain skills, and because you know the technology but you don't know the data. But we, while we graduating, we know the domain but we don't know the technology. So if you have those kind of a mix and maxes, like a mix and mixtures about the data and the domain, so you're gonna be the best in the industries. So these are the different career opportunities, like what you can look after in terms of, like if you are really interested, okay, dealing with a domain and the data and the technology, obviously the below the jobs what you can look for into it. And if you are something kind of, okay, like I want to do something which is a domain based, obviously you can go for a particular kind of a jobs. And you can see that, like one more interesting thing like what I've been added here is, so you can see the bar over here. See, basically now what happens is everyone are using a smartphones and everyone are using the laptops, and in every aspect we're going to have a touch with the technology. So having a touch with the technology is by default for every profession. Even though if you are a professor, even if you are a pharmacist, even if you are a FR&D, and even if you're a data scientist, you're gonna be you're gonna be in touch with technology. But the mixture of having a domain and technology varies a bit. So if you are into laboratory services, you're gonna deal 90% with the domain of your technical knowledge, means technical in the sense like what I'm talking about, your domain knowledge, and the 10% you want to use the technology. And when it comes to domain based, such as pharmacovigilance, medical writing, and anything, where 70% of the work what you want to do, so your resumes or your the talent attractions will be 70%, we're going to look for your how you understand the problem in a domain, and the 30% will be technology. And when it comes to humanitarian services, it's a mixture of 80 to 20. And when it comes to some kind of a professions such as a data analyst or a data science, what we're going to do, we will look 30% of a domain, a person should have their domain knowledge, and the 70% should be, they should be carrying their technical knowledge. So that's what industry is looking at, like that is how we're going to pick and choose the peoples out of it. Okay. Okay, so these are the different kind of career opportunities which are available uh, once complete your graduation or like a post graduation, like based upon your interest, and you can choose your own way. And coming to the next one, okay, now okay, we understood what are the different opportunities are available. And now, what actually I mean by domain, data, and the tech jobs, like what is this? See, basically, a data science is one of the most interdisciplinary field that is really really a big one. So basically, you can't say a particular member or particular persons to be a data analyst or a data science. So basically, a data science or a data tech jobs, which gonna be a going to be a blend of several things. One is a domain expert, obviously, and we should have a profound mathematical and statistical understanding and how to deal with a particular problem and how we're going to approach mathematically and statistically to solve that particular problem. And then we're going to have a technology expert. See, basically the technology. So the technology is nothing but these are the kind of a tools or exercise like what we're going to use it. And the last one is going to be the project management. So project management in the sense like whenever you given a particular solution, like how you're going to approach to a particular problem. So that is how a data science, like data science is not only one stream or something. So basically data science peoples are something, they are being fused with the multiple things, and they're going to have a blend with the multiple things such as a domain, mathematical and statistical understanding, and the technology and the project management. So this is what we mean by actual domain, what do you mean by data scientist. So like you might have a question saying that, okay, so what actually I do, I like actually what you do means like basically like I am like what actually I do as a data scientist in a pharmaceutical industry. So basically as like one of the sir told, like I work as a data scientist, in one of the company. So basically obviously we're going to start our work with a very good coffee, and then what we're going to deal with. So basically we're going to the first step, what we're going to do is we're going to understand the problem, like we're going to understand the business. So we're going to understand the business and asking the right question and note downing like what needs to be done. So that is going to be our first priority. So if you say that I'm also graduated MFOM, and if I put into a banking sector, obviously my domain would have been zero. So now what happens, I know if any given a problem in a given a timeline, I can able to understand very easily because my domain is a pharma, so that I can able to understand the things quite easily when it come like when it compared to another kind of a peoples. So like if someone a data scientist is coming from a different background, from engineering background or from MBA background, so now I will be in the like first position. So in terms of understanding data, so once we understand the essence of the data, like once we understand the business, like once we understand the problem statement, obviously the dealing with the problems is going to be very easy. So that is one of the most critical thing when you work as data analyst. First one is business understanding. So once you know the business and asking the right question and note downing what to be done and what not to be done, so once you plan it, so the next is going to be a data mining. So basically a data mining, like once we understood the what's our business requirement, the second step, like what we're going to do, like we're going to do some kind of a data extraction or data collection from a different source. So once we have a data, the third one is going to be we're going to clean the data. So like the cleaning the data is nothing but it's kind of a mathematical or industrial like statistical approach. What we're going to do, like we're going to clean the data in terms of the way we required, and then we're going to analyze the data. So then the fourth one is going to be a data exploration. Like once we have the data into a right shape and in a once our data is cleaned, so the next step what we're going to do, like we're going to explore the data. So we're going to do some kind of a exploratory data analysis, and we're going to explore the data, like whether the data is in a right form or not, and once the right form is not, and whether this data is fit into some kind of a statistical analysis or not. So those kind of assumptions like we're going to do, like once we have been done some kind of a data exploration, the next one is going to be the feature engineering. So the feature engineering is one of the most crucial aspects about the data science. So we're going to consider what are the things which are really important to make my algorithm or to make my machine learning to predict or something like that. And once we have done them, like we have done some kind of feature engineering, the next part will going to be the predictive modeling. So the predictive modeling here, like how it works is, so basically it all depends upon what kind of a problem statement like we are looking into it. So if you are looking into a problem statement such as, okay, like I want to identify the next treatment pattern. Say like my mother has been diagnosed with a diabetic mellitus 2, and based upon her, what you say, like her like a blood sugar level and other kind of reports, the doctor is going to suggest one drug, like say kind of a metformin. And when we go to the second visit, obviously there will be a change in the pattern, like how that kind of a pattern, like how we're going to predict that pattern of a like next medication can be occurred through a data. So those kind of predictive modeling, like what we do, those kind of things. And once we have done all this kind of predictive modeling and feature engineering and the data exploration, data cleaning and the data gathering and understand the business, and everything has to be put like everything has to be submitted to a either through a visualizations or through by a report. So the seventh step is going to be it's be around like creating a data visualization and creating some kind of a some kind of a report, so that I could able to give it to my clients and hand out to it. Okay, so this is what typically I do as a data scientist in a pharmaceutical industry. So this is going to be my day-to-day routine. So first one, understand the business. Second one is getting the data from different sources, then clean the data, and then do some kind of exploration with the data, and then feature engineering and build a machine learning model, and then I gonna submit the report back. So this is what I do as a data scientist in a day-to-day life. Okay, so you can ask me a question. Okay, Santosh, like I got to know, okay, what are the career opportunities are there within the data science, and I know uh, what you typically do. Okay, can you tell me, okay, what kind of businesses, like what kind of a projects like you have been dealt as a data scientist in a pharmaceutical industry? So basically here, so if you see a business in the sense, say I have been worked on like nearly around like 8 years of experience in the field of data, and it like with the data science things. So when you see about the clinical market, okay, so basically like I like to spend more time over here, so that you will be getting some kind of a real time exposure, like understanding like what kind of data science problem statement like we have it from the clients. So here, so basically we like I worked on two aspects in the pharmaceuticals. One is the clinical market aspects, one is the commercial aspects, like commercial market aspects. So coming to the clinical market, so I worked on pretty much on identifying the particular target site or a country for conducting a clinical trial. So basically like how it's going to be, like my client going to come and my client going to ask me, okay, so I have this kind of a drug molecule and this kind of anti-cancer drug, and I want to launch a clinical trial. So in a say a country called as India. So for this India country, so what I gonna do, I gonna give him a recommendation or a list of centers like where you can actually perform your clinical trial by through kind of a machine learning. Okay, so basically like we say that we have around like 1,000 different clinical trial centers available in India. So under that I'm going to give them a top 50 clinical trials which will be best performing for that drug and for that indication. And apart from that, so based upon the patient volume, say that bank in Bangalore, like we might have one clinical trial center called as X clinical trial center, like who has been specialized in some kind of a anti-neoplastic only for the skin kind of indication. Obviously that kind of a center will be well suited for this trial, but that will not be a well suited even though it's an anti-cancer therapeutic area, but it might not be a good for a dermatitis indications. So that kind of a cutting edge solution, like what we're going to do, okay, so based upon the client requirement, what we're going to do, we're going to train, like based upon the data what we have it, we're going to train our predictive model, so that whenever a user going to give me some kind of a inputs, and we're going to give them a recommendations which going to be a kind of a product. Okay, so like a kind of a product, so whenever they're going to put, okay, this indication, okay, this indication, okay, this many enrollment numbers are or like what I'm looking, and this is where I need to start. So if you feed those data, we're going to generate a list. So those list, it's going to be a data driven list based upon the past experience. So for doing those kind of a date like jobs, obviously I like we will be doing this kind of works. So what we will doing, so to address that problem, so these are the steps what we need to go through it. So that is the first scenario like what I've been really faced. And like another one is, so based upon the observation, the predicting how the clinical enrollment will perform. So basically what happens while a clinical trial is starting, like while the clinical trial is conducting, and we're going to predict based upon the enrollment rate and based upon the certain kinds of other kind of assumptions, what we're going to do, like we're going to predict whether this site will continue to grow its enrollment, or it's gonna decline its enrollment, or it's gonna fail the study. So what we're gonna do, by using some kind of AI technologies and by using some kind of ML technologies, what we're gonna do, like we're gonna predict at what rate this site can achieve its enrollment at a given point, whether it can see one of the biggest, what to say, hurdle, like one of the biggest thing what we can see in a clinical trial is, so the sponsor will be planned to complete the research in a particular time frame, like a 6 months or a 12 months or a 18 months on a given time frame. But usually what happens, it's going to be extended up to 2 years, 3 years, and 5x or 10x. So what we're going to do, like by having a real-time data, what we're going to do, like we're going to feed into our machine learning models. Then what we're going to do, we're going to tell, okay, this is the enrollment rate, okay, this is the data, and we're going to tell our client upfrontly, well in advance, so that they will not waste enough of their money in spending in that clinical institute. And that's going to be one of the biggest gain for our clients in withdrawing some kind of studies, and they're going to concentrate on some other more important studies rather than non-enrolling zones. So those kind of approaches, like what I have done for my clients. And the third thing, so basically now sometimes what happens, okay, those just like that, like while we are having a discussion with the clients, and they're going to tell, okay Santosh, like I have a this clinical trial to be done, and this indication I need to done. Okay, tell me what kind, okay, this phase I'm trying to launch. Okay, tell me what kind of a, like how many patients like I need to use, like how many sites I need to consider it, and what, like how many number of physicians, and how many nurse practitioner, and how many physical assistants I need to consider to start this trial. And can you give me some kind of a diversity planning as per the FDA? So all these things, what we're gonna do, we're gonna tell them, okay, what, like how it will be done. So it will be it's gonna be done by using our past record data. So once we're gonna have some kind of historical data. So looking at that historical data and performing some kind of a thorough analysis and performing some kind of a robust, like building some kind of a robust machine learning algorithms. It could be something as simple as can be linear regression, and it can be as sophisticated like XGBoost, Arima, any kind of a model. By using that model, what we're gonna do, we're gonna tell them, okay, so if you are performing this kind of a study, the minimum enrollment rate should be from this to this, and this is how many sites you have to do it, and this is the number of physicians like you need to get in contact, and this is the diversity planning you should do that as per the FDA. So these are the recommendations, like what we're going to do for the clinical aspect. So apart from this clinical market, I also worked on some kind of a commercial market aspects as well. So in the commercial aspect, like how it is, say basically we know that once once the drug is out of the market, once the drug is out of the market, so like the one person who is going to be influencer is a doctor. So basically the physicians is going to be a main influencer. So he only recommends our drug to a patient, like he's the one who gonna recommends our drug, so he gonna write it the prescription. So basically all our business is gonna revolves around the doctor only. When it comes to commercial aspect, it's called as a pre-sales. Now we know that we're going to have a medical representative, and once the medical representative will go and approach to a particular doctor, and from that doctor the prescription will be generated. And now, okay, so now have you guys ever think about it, okay, who gonna tell which doctor I need to consult? So now when you come like a 10 years back, so the 10 years back, the approaching to a particular doctor or to a particular clinic was a, it was one hour, like it was like a hitting a arrow in a dark. Okay, so either hit it hits, if it's flop it flops. So now what happens is, now the transformation, like now the data revolution has happened. So from the data revolution, like what it happens, like we're gonna do some kind of a modeling. So what it happens is, okay, so I have a two doctors. So if this is my brand and this is my indication, and like this is what it's rating, so then what we're gonna do, like we're gonna engineering something within the data. So we're gonna give them who are the topmost influencer for that drug. So who are the means, we're gonna consider their in and around profiles, like how is active in the social media, and how is active in the LinkedIn, like how is active in the conferences, and how many patients he does sees in a year, and how many referrals he gonna get it, and how is his channel partners are there, how hospitals are working. So those kind of complexity models we have been algorithmed. So whenever a user comes and drops these messages, what it happens, we're going to give them a recommendation. Okay, so out of this 100 peoples, okay, so these are your top 15 or top 20, so these are your high prescribers, so go and target with them. That kind of a revolutions like is happening in terms of HCP targeting. So this is what we call as HCP targeting, either we can call as a GP targeting. So that's one of like one kind of area like where a data science application is being done. And the second one is we have been assessed the promotional activity, which is called as multimedia channel, or it's called as omni-channel experience. So it's one of the most ever growing kind of segment in a data science. So multimedia channel, like so basically a drug is been given and we are going to address into a different promotion channels, and which channel of the promotion has been more effective, so that I can strategize my revenue to that model, like to that kind of a thing. So those kind of thing will be given. And what we're gonna do, like we're gonna do some kind of a comparative arm, and we're gonna give some kind of a experiment arm. So unlike what we're gonna do in pharmacology, like I have done some kind of a research on osteoporosis. Under that, what we used to do, we're gonna have some kind of a category, like we're gonna have a cohorts A and B. Cohort A is gonna be the control group, and the cohort B is gonna be the experimental group. So in the same way, what we're gonna do, like we're gonna have a physicians who are not digitally exposed and who has been digitally exposed. So and by looking at there, and we're going to do some kind of a statistical analysis. After doing some kind of statistical analysis, and we're going to get some kind of a significance score, and based on the significance score, we're going to take a call whether this activity, like this kind of promotional channel, has been increased or not. So that is a second kind of a business use case what we deal in day-to-day life. And the third thing and is going to be setting up a sales perspectiveness. Like it goes in hand to the first topic, like what I discussed regarding the HCP targeting. Once we know who and all, like how many doctors I need to target, and I can able to set what should be my field size. So basically, don't think that okay, data scientist, like you're gonna set it, you're gonna just give a recommendations to your sales team. So the sales team will get an approach to you, and then the sales will be driven by your inputs. That's how it's going to work. And understand the market dynamics and the player in the market. Obviously, it's also a kind of a comparative analysis like what we do it. And so basically, and the sixth point is predict the sales and the patient journey at the deeper level. See, here it's going to be really interesting challenge. Okay, so here the interesting challenge here is, so what we're going to do, like we're going to predict the sale, we're going to predict what could be the sale of this drug in the next year or next quarter or something. And the patient journey, it comes with a very huge data. So basically we have some kind of a billions of record of data. What we're going to do, we're going to have some kind of algorithm, like we're going to have some kind of all the patient IDs will be there, and we're going to have their complete patient journey analysis. This is called as LRX. So this kind of a data will be there, and then what we're going to do, based upon the pattern, based upon the treatment pattern, like what we're going to do, we build some kind of a model for particular brand or something. Okay, if a person A is taken a drug A, and the after 3 days, based upon his blood report, and the doctor recommends a drug B, if not, you're gonna recommend the drug C. And now what we're gonna do, now we are building a product in such a way that when some kind of a diagnostic tool, like some kind of a diagnostic information and some kind of a indication details has been put forward, and then what happens now, they're gonna get a recommendation what could be the chances of the particular, I mean next possible prescription, like a prescribed medical, like medicine should be, so that this gonna help us, our pharma clients, in managing to know the market value, and also to know some kind of a dynamics in the market. Okay, so then what happens, okay, now say that I am a drug A manufacturer, my drug B is getting that market capture, then drug A will gonna be have a competitive edge regarding the drug B, and he knows okay who is taking my market. So my clients can able to take a call and make, like they can make some kind of a strategic decisions regarding to the problem. Okay, so these are the different kinds of a businesses what I did as a data scientist in the pharmaceutical industry from my through my 8 years of my experience. Okay, and so uh, Okay, just a little pause. I hope still I'm connected and everyone can hear me. Okay, hello. Okay.
Yeah, you are audible, and Santosh sir. You can
Okay.
continue.
Okay, cool. Sure. So just checking. Okay. So coming to the, okay, now you guys understood these things, like these questions. Okay, what are the different career opportunities are available, and you understood what actually a domain and the tech jobs is means, and you understood what I do as a day-to-day analysis, and you guys understood, okay, what kind of business I did in a pharmaceutical industry. Okay, but to deal with this business, I should use a technology, and what are the different kind of a technology like we have to go through to deal with that kind of a problem. See, basically, like one of the most common thing, so basically you want to have a most five basic technology, like you should be ensure that you're gonna have it to enter into a data science or in a data technology team. So something like we gonna like I'm gonna start with Excel. So basically the Microsoft Excel is one of the most common application, like where it's gonna be used in everywhere. If you ask anyone in any company, Excel is gonna be the most minimum. Okay, so we're gonna use the Excel, and from that Excel, the application of Excel, what we're gonna do, like we're gonna have a very much large application of Excel, and obviously we're going to use a PowerPoint to do some kind of storytelling or creating any kind of a presentations. We're going to use it, and we're going to use another technology called as VBA. So VBA stands for a visual basic application. So visual basic application is a kind of a Excel enabled macros where we can able to do some kind of a automations over there. So that is what it happens. So once you have the Excel skills, and again you have a PowerPoint skills, you can end up in getting a jobs as a market research. I hope everyone remember this chart. So basically you can see that we have a market research. So basically we're going to have a domain plus data. So to get a market research jobs, like what you have to do, the minimum requirement, like what you should know basic level of Excel, and you should want to have a expert level of PowerPoint. So if you have that skills right after your graduation or a post graduation, you probably mostly you can end up in getting a market research role. And you have a expert of Excel, and you should be expert of like PowerPoint, and you have like and you are a intermediate level or advanced level of a VBA. So then like there's a high chances, and if you have a basic understanding of how the Power BI looks, like the Power BI is a kind of a software which is used to do a high-end data visualizations and the data reporting and the dashboarding stuff should be done. And if you know these basics of Power BI, and if you are expert in these aspects, and then analyst positions will be open, like will be calling for you. So basically you can be a performance BI and the reporting and the else. Okay, and like once you have that kind of a, like once you have a strong like profound understanding of all the technologies such as Excel, PowerPoint, VBA, and the Power BI, and if you know some kind of a intermediate level of a SQL things, like a SQL is a one kind of a technology, it's called a structured query language. So if you have like if you want to grasp this kind of a uh, four technical things, so then the high probability of your getting a data science like data analyst jobs is going to be like a very high. And then like if you want to achieve a position called as a data scientist, what you should have it, you should be expert in all the technologies such as Excel, PowerPoint, VBA, Power BI, SQL, Python. And apart from that Python, see, Python is only a technical skills, and on top of that we should have to learn some kind of a machine learning algorithms. So once you know all this kind of a basic understanding of all this technology and some kind of a basic machine learning, and you should know some basic Azure means either it can be Azure, either it can be AWS, either it can be a Google Cloud platform. If you know these technologies, and the chances of become a data scientist within the healthcare is, the possibilities are there. So these are the technologies what you should be like really focusing on acquiring if you are looking into a, like if you are trying to enter into a data science field. So those are Excel, PowerPoint, a VBA, Power BI, SQL, and the Python. And add on to a Python, you should also should know some kind of a basic machine learning algorithms such as linear regression, logistic regressions, and lot more. So these are the like a road like these are the technologies, and like these are the like a roadmap, like what you should be acquiring if you are aiming to enter into this kind of a data science or like a tech field. So once, okay, now I got to know the roadmap. Okay, so now you can ask me, okay Santosh, like how often, like how do you use? See, basically I hope everyone remember this slide. So this was one of the previous slide, what I have been taken. And after that, see, basically the first question is going to be the business understanding. Like how do I going to get this business understanding? Either by domain, either by experience that I'm going to get it. So basically this domain or experience, that is what the purely what you want to carry from your colleges or from any kind of a technology. And you can see that for do some kind of a data mining or data collections, we're going to use a SQL or a Excel. And to do all these steps, such as data cleaning, uh, data exploration, and the feature engineering and other kind of predictive analysis, we're going to use a platform which is technology called as a Python predominantly to address these issues. And to do a like some kind of data visualizations, we're going to use a Power BI. And apart from that, see, basically these are the basic things like what we're going to use in our day-to-day life. So it's not limited to a data scientist to only to know these things. Okay, so as you grow in the field of this technology, and as you go with other kind of things, uh, the technology term is keep on evolving, it's keep on evolving. Okay, so now these are the things like how we're going to use this. So basically this technology, like I will be using on a percentages. Okay, so basically sometimes I use a SQL more, sometimes I use a Power BI more, sometimes I use Python more. So it all depends upon what kind of a understanding, what kind of a business I have it. So essentially we use all the technologies in our day-to-day lives. So there is no quitting of any one technologies in building your roadmap to a data science fields. So this is what this is how I gonna use the technology in our day-to-day life. So coming to the other things, so basically like most of the peoples will be have it. Okay, what is like what we are trying to do in a data science, what it is. See, basically a data science is not pretty much it's not something which is happening on the future, it's happening right now. See, basically this kind of data science jobs is started in the way back in the 2016 or in the 2015. So now the scope was very limited in the during the 2018 and the 2019. But now what happens is now everywhere the applications of machine learning has become very fast. And during this post pandemic, the acceleration towards the machine learning has become greater. And recently, like not recently, in the morning I have reading some kind of a LinkedIn. So um so one of the LinkedIn says, like one of the company person says that, so we might require more than 5,000 experts in data analysis in pharma sector in India. So basically, and do you think are you imagining like how the data science is exploring in the healthcare? So obviously some kind of data science aspects already established in banking, in oil and gas, but in healthcare it's exploring. Okay, and the opportunities are endless, and like they are like a limitless. So basically it all depends upon your career, like how we want to make it. So basically what are the other data science streams? So basically I always believe in an iceberg theory. So iceberg theory is always the tip of an iceberg. See, what you see is only a layer, and what we don't know within the what kind of advances is going on within the uh, healthcare and the pharmaceutical industry is very vast. Okay, so basically I covered only the tip of the iceberg. From this past 8 years I just covered only the tip, like I don't even see the tip, I just only touch the ice. So basically I did some kind of predictive modeling, and I did some kind of a clinical trial optimizations, like by giving some kind of accurate enrollment rates numbers or something like clinical trial optimization. And I worked on some kind of a commercial analytics from the advanced analytics teams. And the thing is, like apart from these things, so there are n number of opportunities are like already like research is going on, such as drug discovery and development. So basically like by using some kind of AI ML techniques, so they are creating some kind of a stimulus models. And apart from that, in vitro and the in vivo examinations are replacing with this AI and ML model, so that they are trying to create some kind of a docking studies by using this AI ML. And apart from that, they are also focusing on the precision medicines. So the precision medicines is entirely, it's going to be a tailor made kind of treatment algorithms for some kind of a genetic group of peoples. And in that space, there's a lot of opportunities like coming out, is been done by Bayers and the Roche. And the third thing is medical imaging and the diagnostics. And I hope everyone would have been gone through some kind of announcement what the Google has made in the previous year. So whenever we're gonna upload some kind of our retina scans, it's gonna detect what's our next heart rate. So you can see that when like the now the GE Healthcare, like a GE Healthcare is one of the company. It's mainly investing on heavy on this medical imaging. Like what happens, like whenever you want to upload some kind of a CT scans, whenever you want to upload some kind of your MRI scans, what it's going to do, it's going to give you a complete detailed report of a summary and everything about what is that indication is all about. Okay, what's the level of fracture has happened and what is the bone mineral density. So medical imaging and diagnostic is one of the uh, most what you say, like a discovering field is happening in a healthcare sector. And soon I believe that like most of the our traditional X-ray machines and MRI machines like comes with a AI touch, so that AI touch, like whenever you want to have a report, just you have to upload your report and then it's going to give you a summary output. So now you can think that as one normal engineering student, like if I pass out as an engineering student and I came in and I put into that kind of project, so what it going to be, obviously it's going to be very tough for me to understand what is going on because I lack a completely a domain. I don't know how to do it. But as we have done, like we know okay how the things work and we have learned those things in our colleges, so that we are going to be a most important mixture and we're going to be most important what to say, kind of a persons where company will be keep on looking into it. Like if any persons, like what we say, okay, if you see okay he has a like some kind of healthcare expertise and he knows some kind of technical stuffs, he's going to be hot cake in the market. Okay. And so coming like after coming to the medical imaging, and the third one like after that it's going to be the health fraud detection. So basically, so health fraud detection is one of the most things it's going to happening in terms of a licensing. Okay. So we know that credit card analysis and we know that fraud analytics is going on with the credit card. So in the same way, a very large amount of investment has been made in this space as well in the recent years, not in the recent year, in the recent months, by my company itself to the insurance claims. So whenever a person is submitting a for like a false claims or something like that, like how to identify that false claims. So that's been trying to like exploring, the peoples are exploring. And we have also called the drug repurposing. So what we're going to do, like we're going to make use of this ML algorithms and AI algorithms, so that say that we have a X drug is used to treat for the indication A. So then what we're going to do, like we're going to explore without making any kind of experimentation. So by machine learning, by molecular analysis, we're going to detect okay what are the other kind of indications that we can target into it, what is the percentage hit like I can achieve in like in terms of mechanisms or in terms of pharmacokinetic activity or dynamic activity, means bioavailability or like bioequivalence, those kind of things. And like like another one is robotics in healthcare. So basically like a robotics in healthcare is going to be like it's going to be again it's going to be a part of mechanical will also come into it. Like I'll not concentrate much on that. And coming to the remote patient monitoring, and this is one of the real time is happening in in the parts of South Africa, in African continent. So basically, we know that African continent has a very least number of doctors, and their healthcare index, like healthcare score, is very low. So every uh, like out of four children's take a birth, and like a two, like the mortality rate is more than 50%. To reduce that more than mortality rate, like there are a lot of NGOs are interested in to do some kind of a remote patient monitoring, so that a patient, if he don't like if he has some kind of a restrictive accesses to reach into a particular location, it's going to be either it can be a financial aid or anything. So what they can do, they can do some kind of a telepathy medicines. And apart from that, building some kind of a ML space, creating some kind of apps where they can address some kind of health issues upfront. Say basically, I have read one of the recent articles with the Janitri. Like Janitri, there's one of a startup in Bangalore. So they are expertise in some kind of a pediatric care. So if you are in somewhere in the remote state of Africa and either India, so basically what you have to do, like you don't know whether this medications has to be consumed or not during your pregnancy time or not. So then you can, what you ask, you can ask an app, okay, this is the medication, this is the illness what I'm into it, and can I take it or not. So if it is an OTC drug, and it's going to give you recommendation, and it's going to give you an alert like what it has to be taken. And if any drug has you given some kind of ADR, and what kind of next kind of attentions like we need to take care, that's going to be replaced, and immediate area, and the immediate medical assistance will be provided, like those kind of features basically are available in e-learning platforms. Okay. uh, Guys, can you hear me, everyone?
Yeah. So there are some audio disturbance, Santosh sir, in between. Now it's
Yes.
okay. You're
Okay.
clear.
Okay. So like where I lost, like where I ended, like like we are almost into our session. Hello.
Yeah. You're audible. Please
Okay,
continue.
cool. So now, okay, we understood, okay, what are the kinds of streams or data science streams like we are trying to make an impact. And the last thing is, okay, now we like discussed these things. Okay, so how do I, like what are the data tech jobs, and how a data scientist will work, and what are the different applications we have know, and we got to know what are the different technologies they're going to use it, and what are the untapped things we can explore using data science. But how they're gonna be me, like how they will pay me. So obviously that's gonna be one of the most genuine questions, like what I'm gonna ask it when I like when I like when I was a student, I used to ask, okay, what I gonna do, like after do it, okay, how I can become, and like how it's gonna be. So basically, let me give you my example. Like I started my career in the year of 2016 as a research scientist, and then assume that at that time my salary was around like 100 rupees, and now currently I'm working as data scientist. My salary has become 10x of that salary. So now the thing is, like why I'm discussing is this. So basically, these are the high tech jobs, and these are the things what it gonna replace in a newer future, and it has a lot of potential in terms of financially and everything. Okay. Okay. So coming to the next question. Okay, so basically I work in seniors. Like a question can become like be like this. Okay, so does the seniors health has a data science or machine learning or AI? Yes, we are into it. Like we are into a this kind of work. So basically, like recently, like we have been acquired some company called as RxGS, and I was a part of that. And we had also a collaboration with the BCGX, and we are creating some kind of unimaginable AI products that gonna hit into a market in next few years. So in the same terms, okay, what on all the other kind of companies are working? Obviously, we know that IQVIA is there, and we have a um, IQVIA, Novartis, GSK, n number of companies are there, like not only the pharmaceutical companies, and there are some kind of tech companies. They are printing, like they are making the print in the healthcare, such as the math company, fractal analytics. A lot of companies are there, and if you go and search data science positions in healthcare in Google or something like that, you will be getting n number of positions. And the only thing is, we only lack how we're gonna tap it. Like how we're gonna tap it, after you're completing a post graduation, just get onto the right skill, and the opportunities you can tap it. um okay, so sorry for not having a last final slide called as a Q&A. So I like to end my session. And is there any questions for me?
I sincerely appreciate your insightful and enlightenment talk, sir. Participants, you can now unmute your mic for asking questions or post your queries in the chat box.
Coordinator Shabi sir, is there any question? It's okay. So if there is no question to ask now, I requested all the participants whoever is having any doubt in later period of time and can post your questions in the chat box. I requested our speaker, Santosh sir, to clarify later through mail. So we will be sharing his mail ID and other communication details. So kindly look into it, sir. Santosh sir.
Sure, sir.
Sir,
At any given point of time.
excuse me, sir. There's a question raised
Yes.
by a Dr. Shabi, sir. Is there any,
Okay.
because most of us are very good at molecular docking, do we have any job role available, sir?
Okay. Yeah, so basically, so we have some kind of QSP technology is going on. It's called as quantitative systemic pharmacology. So it's one of the unique project like what we are trying to create for a preclinical trial evaluations. So those kind of docking. So we like we are like there are some kind of like opportunities in that space as well, which is called as QSP opportunities.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay.
Sir, is there any free courses available for this data science, like with very good certifications and very good platform? Do you know
Yeah.
any?
So
Can you suggest some?
yeah. So basically, like we have a plenty of like online like a free you can go through Udemy, Coursera, and some kind of skill tests are available. And so once you get the sufficient knowledge within the Excel, and then like Udemy is there, like a Coursera is are there. Like you can go and get it enrolled and you can learn it, and it's gonna be like you have to enroll it and you're gonna get some kind of a recorded videos and you have to watch the videos, and at the end of the day you're gonna get some kind of a course completion certificate will be available from that sites.
Sir, there's another question. Since we are pharma background, how can we learn Excel, Python, and other technologies?
Yeah, so basically that's a good question. So basically to learn this Excel and if you want to learn any kind of a Python, obviously either uh, y- so basically you have to go to a particular kind of a institute or something where they're gonna teach about these kind of technologies such as Excel and the Python. And if you go to that particular kind of training institute and like you're gonna have around like a 3-4 months of training, and they're gonna avoid you, they're gonna provide you some kind of a course completion certificate. Then you can upload into your resumes and then you can search for the jobs. Did that answer your question?
Excuse me, sir. Sir, there's one more question. I am Imad. Any opportunity available? I have excellent knowledge in bioinformatics tools. Can you suggest some companies for UG graduates with
So for
pharma
the
background?
yeah, so for the bioinformatics, so basically if you ask me right now what are the bioinformatics, so I don't have anything, but I can get connected with that. So like I need to check they have some kind of a workshop going on, but I can get connected and I can look into a particular companies like which are focused in bioinformatics, uh, and I can get back to on that.
Thank you, sir. Participants, is any other questions? Participants, I repeat, if you have any questions, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat box or you can unmute your mic and ask your queries.
Mohammed Kumar. Hello.
Yeah, you proceed, sir. You are audible. Your voice is clear. You please
Yeah,
continue.
uh, I completed recently course in clinical research. Uh, any job specification is available related to data science associated with that. Recently, 6 month course I completed in that.
Uh-huh.
It is helpful for your career, sir.
Yeah, so basically, you have a clinical research certification, like as I see it. So basically, as we are graduated from pharmacy or postgraduate in a pharmacy, so basically, having clinical research doesn't make much impact to into data science, but having some kind of a technical skills along with the skill sets, it's gonna be a good hit. Uh, it's gonna be like a good combination of
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
So like what you can you can tell about, okay, we know that ICH guidelines and E2 guidelines on that parameter, and if you're going to explore something, and always when you're going to try your like when you're going to learn your technical skills, just one thing is, you always we need to try to focus and how we can able to link our normal Excel routine or normal Python routine to my work, to my domain. And if you can link that chain, it's going to be good. So if you just learn Python like very like other like any other engineers, and your value will not be that great. So basically what I meant is, so basically you take one thing and try to do it in a technical field, and have that kind of a mixture of both. So then publish some papers on that, and not on the paper, some kind of a blogs you can write it, and you can post it on LinkedIn, and you can tag me on the LinkedIn as well, so that the visibility will be like very much higher.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So last thing what I wanted to share is, so basically my contact details. So you can contact me. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen.
No, sir.
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So if anyone likes to visit our career page, which is a seniorhealth.com, like you can visit your career page, www.seniorhealth.com/careers, and you can find out is there any job that you're matching your profiles, and you can mail me on my official email ID. So this is my official email ID, and this is my LinkedIn account, and you can send out me a request so that we can be get connected, and any doubts or clarification, I could able to provide it.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you.
So there's a question being raised.
Uh-huh.
Whether AI will replace data scientists or data science analysts?
No. See,
How do we
basically,
update?
uh-huh. So basically, if you ask me, okay, this AI will replace data analyst. See, basically, AI will not replace any jobs. It's only replace only the boring jobs. That's it. So basically, there is a buzz is going on. Okay, AI will replace. See, basically, there's a lot of innovations is going on with the pharmacovigilance. We know that pharmacovigilance is one of the job markets like what we can get it after our graduation. So basically, our next project, what we are trying to like some of not next project. So basically we are trying to do it now only, and other not only the company where I work, even the Johnson and Johnsons and other kind of a company already started to automate the pharmacovigilance work. So what and all you want to get and tries and identifying the adverse reactions from the protocol or from the PDF, it's been replacing. So basically AI will not AI will not replace the peoples, and it will not replace the things. It only going to replace only the boring jobs and the manual jobs like what we're trying to do it. And AI will create more jobs in future. So I am very optimistic regarding the technology. But you have to we have to make sure that we are in that race, and we should not be fallen out that race. uh, my personal experience is like when my cousin brothers or like my dad used to work. So whenever there's a new technology come into any kind of a workforce, they used to take 4 to 5 years to get that system to be implemented into a workforce. Now it's not that case. Whenever a new system or like whenever there's a new technology sitting in the market, the company is absorbing within 6 to 8 months. So that's how rapidly the technology has been grown, and for that technology we have to be matched.
Thank you, sir. Participants, in any other questions?
Sushmita, madam, if there is no question further, now we can conclude the session, I think.
Thank you to all of you. I would like to call Ms. Purnima, Event Director of Pan Pharmacon Student Club, Department of Pharmacology, to deliver vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Purnima, Event Director, Pan Pharmacon Student Club, Department of Pharmacology. I feel honored and privileged to have an opportunity to offer you a vote of thanks on this webinar entitled Shaping the Future Pioneering Data Science Careers in Pharmaceutical and Healthcare Industries. First and foremost, we would like to express our gratitude to the management, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Kuldeep Raina and Pro Vice Chancellor for their unwavering encouragement and support in organizing the webinars. On behalf of the faculty members, I would take this opportunity to express my thanks to our Dean, Dr. S. Bharat, for being a constant source of motivation and guiding force for his valuable guidance. I want to express my gratitude to Dr. J. Anbu, convener of this webinar and head of the Department of Pharmacology, for his inspiration and leadership. We are fortunate to have our esteemed speaker, Mr. Santosh S. Kumar, a data scientist at Sinus. He took time out of his busy schedule to talk for us. Sir, we really appreciate your acceptance of our invitation and sharing for the thought-provoking insight on the opportunities in pharmaceutical industries with data science support in this webinar. Thank you, sir. I would like to sincerely thank our faculty coordinator of today's event, Dr. M. Mohammad Shabi, Department of Pharmacology, and members of Pan Pharmacon Student Club for their support and cooperation throughout the process. My deep sense of thanks goes to Mr. Damodar Nayak for his technical support to organize this webinar and made it a great success. On behalf of all the faculty, Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Pharmacy, I profusely thank all the faculty members and participants for their active involvement in attending this webinar. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Santosh sir. Now we can leave the meeting.